I was elected as president of the United Synagogue in July 2011, which is almost 2 years ago. And during that time, I've had the remarkable privilege of working very closely with the Chief Rabbi. He is a wonderful colleague, teacher, and he's guided me through that period remarkably. I have to say that in all my years, and I had a very long career before in professional life, I don't think I've ever come across somebody who's had as much influence on me as the Chief Rabbi. He is just a really remarkable role model and a privilege to work with.
Occasionally I saw the Chief Rabbi with his late parents. What was interesting was to see the way he related to them. He was possibly as proud of them as they were of him. He speaks about the way his father encouraged him, that when he would ask, as a child, would ask his father questions where his father did not know the answer, how the father said, look, my education was so much, and I did not learn the answers to these questions, but you will. You will be able to do things that I wasn't. And it's impressive the way he sees his father as being the foundation of his own education.
It's 1991. I'm a student at Leeds University, probably on the way to becoming an accountant. And I attend a civic ceremony with the new Chief Rabbi. He's speaking. And he spoke about Jewish responsibility, about a decade of renewal, about how we had to really make sure that it was something for the young to really understand and grow with. And it made an impression not just on myself, but on many, many students of the time who really took to heart this idea of, will we have Jewish grandchildren? What's happening to Anglo Jewry? And I can say personally, as can many of my friends, that's why I became a rabbi. I eventually created Tribe, focusing on the young United Synagogue. And again, the Chief Rabbi has always been such a supporter of making sure young people connect to Judaism. And for me, Tribe is all about that, has always been about that. And having a Chief Rabbi who, wherever he went worldwide, spoke about a Judaism that could relate to all ages, I think in some ways made my job and all the young rabbis coming in easier, because we had a visionary who we could quote, who we could learn from, who we could talk to make sure we did the job that he'd inspired us to do.
I remember once, very early on in my career, we had a seminar for the rabbinate, and the Chief Rabbi was present. And the Chief Rabbi, as is his nature, gave a talk to us, and he spoke about leadership. He spoke about leadership, about to be a Moses, what it means to be a Moses, to be a leader of the people. And I was really only in the beginning. And I raised my hand and I asked the room really, but what happens if you don't feel like a Moses? And the Chief Rabbi looked at me and he said, Reb Elchanan, you're terrific. They love you. Just keep doing what you're doing. You're fantastic. And it made me feel so empowered, so special, that here was this great man in front of all my colleagues and giving me this feeling that I really could do something different, something unique and something special in my own way. He's not just there to be this leader, to be this great ambassador of Judaism. He's also a father. I've seen the softer side of him, the caring side, the embracing side, and that is something which has really touched me and given me the ability to do the work which I try to do.
Through the Chief Rabbi's writings and everything that revealed the stories, it's really made me emphasise how proud one should feel to be Jewish and just not to lose sight of where you've come from and your tradition and your family and your heritage.
The Chief Rabbi is a great speaker and he tells us great stories. He came to our children's service in Norris Lee and he spoke, and it was a really good speech.
The Chief Rabbi is unique, I think, in the way that he is able to inspire you. Whenever you're in his presence, you come away thinking that this has been an amazing experience, and you feel empowered to do things which you might not otherwise have felt able to do.
When I think of the Chief Rabbi, I think of a leader who lifts us up when we're down. And to be a Jew sometimes can be quite depressing, especially with the anti-Israel sentiment that exists and unfortunately is growing in some quarters of the country. And I remember we had the rally in Trafalgar Square, 60,000 Jews listening to somebody who was lifting the place. Remarkable to be there and to hear him, and certainly that message of wherever we are, always be proud to be a Jew. It's one of the most important messages for all ages in the 21st century.
It is really great the way that he has become the moral compass of the country. It's much more than just the United Synagogue, more than just Anglo-Jewry, it's for the whole country. I think you hear people who are not Jewish who listen to his thought for the day, they read his piece in Credo, and they say he is the major moral voice in the country today from any of the religious leaders. And that's a remarkable position to be in. And this is the man. I mean, of course, the office is part of it, but this is the man who has taken the office to a level which is quite remarkable.